Hey folks, Jake and I are here to shoot a contest video for Gily Beck's 100 subscribers contest, which is basically show 3 weird albums, or 3 strange albums, stuff that you kind of oddball stuff, I guess. And I'm probably trying to. It seems like I've been making this video a little bit tougher than what it needs to be. I'm probably overthinking everything. We'll apologize in advance if this video seems a little rough. Not only am I dealing with some sinus issues, but due to work, I had to pull a third shift last night. Now, I normally work days. I had to pull third shift on an hour's notice, and so today I'm kind of jet lagged, it feels like, and but I wanted to go ahead and shoot this because I want to support Gily Beck, and I'm going to do this and then go to church and hopefully watch some Royal Rumble tonight. So let's get into it. All right, first CD, Edgar Allan Poe, Spoken Tales of a Tortured Genius. Ted Kirkpatrick, this is his CD, and he is the kind of the driving force behind the Christian thrash metal band Tourniquet, one of my favorite groups of all time. And what he's done on this album is that he's gathered some of his musical friends and had them do spoken word while he does some kind of minimalist musical accompaniment in the background. And now it's not, there isn't, he was very tasteful with it. There are places where the music drops totally out. But it's an interesting CD. I don't think this has ever been pressed to vinyl. Who are some of the guests? They kind of show some of the pictures here. But, so some of the guests, they include Les Carlson of Bloodgood, Frank Marino, Mahogany Rush, Luke Easter of Tourniquet, Eric Wagner of Trouble, Jamie Rowe of Guardian, Rob Beckley of Pillar, and Warrell Dane of Nevermore. And, of course, Warrell Dane's doing the Ravens, so I guess the Nevermore's kind of coincidental. But this is really a unique little CD. All right, the next one I thought of to do was this, The Power and the Glory. The original music and voices of NFL films. Kind of an oddball because, people have soundtracks, but this soundtrack's a little different because not only, well, first of all, it's, most of the soundtracks, if it's instrumental, it's just instrumental. You can listen to it almost like you listen to a classical album, but the music here was specifically written for NFL films. It's the music that they use in a lot of their, I grew up NFL films junkie. I couldn't get enough. I watched those shows all the time, just highlights of NFL plays and games and all of that. And this is a good treasury of that. But it's not just music. It's got the voice of John Facenda, and so it's got some really cool spoken word segments in it that were used in NFL films. I like to I do listen to the CD quite often. Usually when I'm doing something football related, like maybe a fantasy football league draft or playing some kind of NFL related game, I'll put this on. It's a great mood setter, atmosphere. Yeah. So This is The Power and the Glory, the music of NFL films. Great CD. All right. I'm going to show two more, and they're kind of related. And let me give a little bit of history here. All right, so they're in the mid-70s, I think 75, 76. There was a Christian rock band that debuted by the name of Daniel Amos Band. And one of the principal songwriters of that band was Terry Scott Taylor. Terry Scott Taylor's continued to do a lot of different musical projects over the years. He's done the Daniel Amos Band has a large discography. He's done a lot of solo projects, and he's been in a lot of other bands. He's been in a band called the Swirling Eddies, and that was unique in that they used pseudonyms instead of using their real names, and then it was revealed who everybody was. I think most people realize it was made up primarily of Daniel Amos musicians plus a few other guys. He's also in the supergroup the Lost Dogs, which is almost like a Christian market version of the Traveling Wilburys. I mean, they did a lot of great country and Americana type stuff, but it was made up of Terry Scott Taylor, of Daniel Amos, along with Gene Eugene of Adam again, Mike Rowe of 77s, and Derry Daugherty of the Choir. So Terry Scott Taylor basically has had his hand in a lot of different bands and projects. So he puts out this CD, very bizarre CD, under the name Dr. Edward Daniel Taylor, and the title of the CD is the Miracle Faith Telethon. So basically, he's taken a bunch of unreleased or remixed tracks that have appeared on Daniel Amos projects, Swirling Eddies projects, and his own solo stuff. And that's where he gets the name. Edward being Swirling Eddies, Daniel Amos, and then of course Terry Scott Taylor, So Dr. Edward Daniel Taylor, the Miracle Faith Telethon. So he's put on all these remixes and unreleased tracks, but he's also doing these comedy bits in between. It's almost like listening to a radio comedy sketch group or something. And and it's all about this fake televangelist type stuff. And there are some really good bits where they've got they're doing all these characters on this TV evangelistic program, and there's some great bits, including one part where this guy's telling his testimony, and the preacher character is like, "We're tired of your testimony. The whole congregation, we're just sick and tired of your testimony." It's really weird stuff, but it's hysterical. So, wow, I don't even know how to describe this project, but that's what this is. This is Terry Scott Taylor basically putting together a bunch of his old unreleased stuff with some comedy bits. Makes for an interesting listen. That leads me to this final one. Of course, one of his bands, like I said, was the Swirling Eddies. Now, the Swirling Eddies released several projects, and they were a legitimate band. I mean, they did some different, they were kind of Christian alternative music, and they were doing legitimate stuff. And then they come and do this album. It's called The Swirling Eddies, Sacred Cows. And basically what they did was they took some of the worst written songs in Christian music of the day, and they reimagined them. They didn't change the lyrics, so it's not like Weird Al, where instead of I'm bad, it's I'm fat, or something of that nature. They took the original lyrics and redid the music the way they thought it should be done. And I'll give them credit. I mean, their song selection was great, because some of these songs that they picked, and I even liked some of the groups that they were poking fun at. But for the particular tracks that they picked, they like DeGarmo and Key. They do two DeGarmo and Key songs. I love DeGarmo and Key, but the two songs that they picked were two of the worst songs that I've ever heard them do, and they're right. And so I can't hardly be mad at the Swirling Eddies for poking fun. Let you see that cover a little bit closer. But the funniest one, I don't know if most of you or any of you have ever heard. There was this guy named Carmen, and he did the cheesiest Christian music ever. I mean, just absolutely cheesy. And they took he did this ridiculous song called Satan Bite the Dust. And so the Swirling Eddies took that song, which is ridiculous anyway, because I think Carmen did it as kind of a Western type video, an old Western type video, but they took the song, and where Carmen gets off like being the tough talker, oh, Satan will bite the dust. They did it with a lisp. It's more like Satan bite the dust. So, but yeah, they really skewered some Christian. That's why it's called Sacred Cows. So those are my four, and I'm rambling, so I'm going to go so I can upload this and try to get my head straight for tomorrow. Gily Beck, you need to subscribe to him if you haven't already. Great channel. Yeah, great channel. So get over there and give him a subscribe. Have a great evening. And join me. We're going to watch some Royal Rumble tonight. Have a great day.